Hello again, Ageless Beauties. Gosh, this has gone so quickly. I can't believe I'm here now bringing you the fifth and final cornerstone for activating core self-esteem. So today's cornerstone is called faith versus fear. So this is living your life in faith versus living your life in fear. And if you remember back to the very beginning of this series, the very introduction, I spoke to you about connecting to your inner knowing, about meditating and connecting to that part of you that is, whether you want to call it your soul, higher self, higher being, but that part of you that is connected to a frequency that's timeless, a frequency that's so much greater than you, and that part of you that knows the plan for your life. Now you're going to find, if you're doing that regularly, that when you come to this fifth cornerstone of living in faith versus fear, it's just going to start to feel more and more effortless the more that you do it, the more that you integrate that step, the more that you do meditate, the more that you connect. And the other thing I want to point out is that faith versus fear is not just about the fear of, oh, you know, I really hope this doesn't happen, I don't want this to happen. It's not just about the fear of the things that you don't want to happen for your life. But you can also live in fear in a way that leans itself a little bit towards codependency. So when you look at your interactions with others, you know, living in fear is that feeling of, oh my gosh, I feel responsible for everybody else. You know, that's a really, really draining dynamic to get into. And when you live in faith versus fear, in those kind of dynamics, you're also going to come to the realization or understanding that I'm responsible to you, I am in relationship with you, and I'm responsible to you in healthy ways that serve the relationship. But I'm not responsible for you. And that is an extremely, extremely empowering and liberating thing to start experiencing. Because the more you tune into your own power, and then the more you feel what you have access to, the more you're going to understand that others have access to the same. And you're going to want to empower them. You know, that's part of the absolute beauty of having this radiant, magnificent core self-esteem, is that really, the more you serve yourself this way, and it's not really even just serving the self, the more you tune into yourself this way, the greater service that you are doing, not only for everybody around you, but really just for the entire planet, is how I see it. Because this world really needs well-adjusted people who are radiating empowerment and really wanting to empower other people. This has got to be probably my favorite part of the entire series. It's my favorite cornerstone, living in faith versus living in fear. And in terms of what the things that you're afraid of, in terms of the things that you don't want to happen in your life, the more and more you tune into this timeless place, the more and more you tap into your life plan, the more and more you follow your own guidance, the more you're going to start to understand that you have access to a timeless power. It's a power that creates universes, and it's a power that runs through you, and it's a power that you have access to. And the more and more you tap into that, the more you are just going to be able to redirect any situation in your life that you feel uncomfortable with. So living in faith versus fear is a really, really, really huge, amazing, empowered step for you to be able to take. But I have to say, it's not just a step. Sometimes it's difficult to attain from a mindset point of view. Oh, I'll just, you know, keep affirming, yes, I'm going to live in faith, I'm going to live in faith, I'm going to. You're going to find that this step actually becomes most powerful when you're setting in place all the steps before, especially cornerstones 1 to 3, because they're all to do with what's going on inside you. They're all to do with the self. And then when you get those ducks in a row and get those steps sorted out, steps 4 and 5, which are more about the outer, are going to come so naturally to you. It's been an absolute pleasure and an absolute joy sharing this information with you. I'm going to be available tomorrow, I think that is, for Q&A. So available all day to take your questions. If you have any questions or any dilemmas or any situations that you want to ask me about around self-esteem, did you lose some self-esteem to a breakup, anything around this topic that you want to ask me, I'm going to be available to answer for you in the Q&A. And then look out on Friday. Like I said, I will be giving a free download of my chapter, the chapter for my book, which is where I help. This part of the book is all about helping women to create that new life they love. So they've healed the breakup part and they're moving on to creating a beautiful new life they love. So this is the chapter for them that I wrote, which is about self-esteem, but it really is relevant to every woman. Okay, gorgeous, it's been a pleasure working with you, and I hope you tap into all these steps and go out there and radiate your most beautiful, beautiful self, because I know that the world really needs that radiant light that only you can shine. Bye.